Hi everybody, hope you're doing well today. I hope you all are having a nice Thursday. If you've not been to my stream before, hi, I'm Emily. This is my second Twitch channel. On my main channel, I stream music streams, mostly clarinet practice streams. Yesterday, we did the Bringing Down the Sky DLC, and today we're going to wrap up the last few side quests and side missions before doing Virmire in stream next week. So we're going to get started. There we go. When I'm streaming, sometimes I feel like I just have too many windows open and I lose the cursor like over different things, especially like on my second monitor where I have Streamlabs open. I always lose the cursor over there. So the first thing I need to do is double check everyone's gear. I try to do this like once per stream, and I didn't do it yesterday, so need to for sure do it today. Playing on a higher difficulty, I find like making sure everyone's gear is good is really helpful and can make a big difference, depending on which mission you're playing. Ashley always takes the most time since she uses the widest variety of weapons. Apparently I haven't updated her stuff in a while. She's got a lot of older mods, or lower level mods, I guess is the better way to say that. I'm kind of hoarding the better ones for myself at the moment, but I'll go back and redistribute them if mine are already set the way I want them. That's not what I wanted. I think she could probably use better armor. What is she wearing right now? She's wearing... That's not what she's wearing. What is she wearing? Is it heavy armor? No, it was heavy armor. She needs another mod. Let's give her that one. That one. I think that'll be a good combination for her. If anything is going funny with sound, please feel free to let me know. Like I said, I've been having some problems with Streamlabs. I think I've got it fixed. But if not, let me know and I'll do my best to fix it on the fly. Only needs a pistol. His should be good because he was on the last mission. I think I updated all his stuff then. Yeah, I think he's fine. Wait, did Ashley's armor not save? I wanted her to have... This is what she's supposed to have. Well, actually, do I want her to have a few more points of damage protection, or do I want her to have an extra mod? I think maybe the shields might be more, and the tech and biotic protection might actually be more helpful for her at the moment. Garrison should be fine because he was on the last mission, so I'll skip his. Oh, everything sounds good? Okay, good. I don't know what it is with Streamlabs. Hi, by the way. Of course, yeah, I hope your Thursday is going well. It's been acting really strange. I don't know if it was because I was gone. Maybe it's mad at me for being away for 2 weeks. But it keeps doing strange things, and I'm learning how to fix them. I guess when these strange things happen, it's like, this is a new thing that I need to learn to assume will happen and will pop up and learn how to fix it quickly. So that's what I'm trying to do. I have a look at my own equipment, make sure I've got the mods I want, and that way I can redistribute the better ones if I already have the ones I need. I want better high explosive rounds, but I think 8's the best I've found so far. Yeah, okay, so I'm good. So I can give some of these better mods to my crew. Tally some high explosive rounds with her shotgun. She might need a better pistol. No, hers is fine. She's got pretty good armor. I don't think I'm going to find anything better for her. Oh, I didn't check my own armor mods. Let's see. Oh, those are good. So I will give Callie that other shield interface one. It's been a minute since I took Liara on a mission, but her gear looks okay. I keep double clicking because I found that sometimes it doesn't save correctly if I change multiple things at one time. Maybe it's my own fault. Maybe I go too fast and that messes it up. So I'm doing like one mod at a time just to make sure everything stays the way I put it. Just one more time. Should be shield interface and then headphones. Yes, we're good. Alright, now I sell off / buy stuff from our requisitions officer.
Looking for supplies?
Now that I've gotten my medium Colossus armor, watch him have like 10 of them.
You bet.
Like, oh, you were looking for this? Yeah, I can get that after I've already wasted my reward from bringing down the sky to get it. Don't know if that's better than what Rex has. It might be. Might as well buy it. Is that better than what... I think that might have much better shields than what Ashley has. I've got enough money. I can just buy the things, carry them over to the lockers, see if they're better or not. That's not better than what I have, no. Is that? No. Ooh, there's a better Omni tool. One of them can probably use that. I don't use the Omni tool, but one of the others might be better than what they have. So let me carry these things over here. So first check Ashley's armor. That is better. And then there's that Omni tool. I think Tally needs a new one. Hers hasn't really been upgraded. Actually, I'm gonna let her keep that one. Let me see if this is better than what Liara's got. Yeah, that's much better for her. What was the other thing I bought? I bought something else too, didn't I? I don't remember what it was. Maybe that was it. I don't remember. Clearly it wasn't... Oh, no, it was Rex's armor. It was armor for him. Couldn't remember what the stats were on what he's wearing. Uh-oh. No, you're not. No, you're not going to freeze up on me. Why? Why do you hate me? So this is a pretty good representation of how my day has been today. How has your day been today? You know, just like, not like mentally, I feel like I've my brain, the organic computer that it is, I guess, has frozen and needed restarting multiple times today. I was making a to-do list, and it's like I kept staring at it, like knowing there were things I needed to add to it, and like just failing to recall what they were. I don't feel like doing all that equipment stuff again, so let's just go right over here.
Looking for supplies?
And I'm just gonna do the stuff I know needs replacing, and we'll just, you know what, we'll deal with everybody else's equipment as we bring them out, because I don't want to do this again. I got that armor for Rex, I remember. I got that armor for Ashley, so I'll grab that. And then there was a, if I can find it again. Is that any better? No. There's a, they probably won't have that. Nope, of course that Omni tool is gone. So I guess Liara is going to have to do without for now. We'll deal with all the mods and everything as I carry them out. But I'll go ahead and give this armor to Ashley. I'll do her mods while I'm here. And give that armor to Rex. Yeah, that's considerably better than what he had. Okay, let me sell a couple of things off just to make room in the inventory. Did I teach today? I did. I just had 2 piano lessons today. My 2 clarinet lessons that I did have on Thursday mornings. One was a scholarship student who got money from the lessons grant, and we completed all of their allotment of lessons for the year before my trip. And my other student is a high school student who wanted to take a break from lessons for the rest of the school year to focus on exam preparation because they were feeling a bit overwhelmed with some of their courses. So I have Thursday mornings off at the moment. I had planned to get a lot of YouTube editing done this morning, but for reasons unknown, or because I am still trying to get back to normal from this jet lag, I overslept and got way behind and didn't get a quarter of the things I wanted to get done this morning done. So like, I really hope this, I've been trying really hard to stick to like a real schedule, but I took for granted that before the trip, like when I didn't need to be up like super early, I'm pretty good about like naturally waking up at a reasonable time or the time I need in order to get everything done, and that did not happen today. I just overslept and I was really frustrated by it, but it is what it is.
Let's see what you got.
So
you bet, Commander.
yeah, no morning lessons today. Did have 2 piano lessons this afternoon. They went well. Those 2 kids I see on Thursday afternoons are great, but sometimes attention spans are difficult to manage on Thursday afternoons with them. They're very good, smart kids who want to learn, but they just don't always, they just bounce off the walls a little bit because they're kids, and that's what they do. We're going to sell everything because I know some of these, I'm going to want some of these mods when I go through their stuff. I'm not a big fan of the snowblind rounds, so I can go ahead and get rid of those. Basically just going to sell enough stuff. I know Tally will need a new shotgun, so I'm not going to get rid of all of those. I can get rid of that. I'm just going to sell off enough things to max out the credits again, and then we'll hold on to the rest for later. A lot of duplicates. That'll work for now. Okay, let's actually do missions now. We'll just have to catch up on gear later. It could have been worse. It could have lost a bunch of progress on something much more important. So let's look at the journal. See what we want to do first. Let's just work from the top down. Do this one first, the investigate samples. So I want maroon C. We want this one. Oh, thank you for the follow. Wee Pesh. I'm gonna call you Wee Pesh because I can't. I'm having trouble reading your name on my list. I need to find a way to make the font bigger on the mini feed on Streamlabs because I struggle to read it over on my second monitor. But thank you so much for the follow. I missed the alert. I don't see the alerts on my game screen, and I hope it went off correctly. I know one of the things that I was putting on my to-do list I was working on earlier was fixing the alerts for my main channel because they are still broken. But a lot of things are broken. Nothing major. Like the main channel stuff is like all the big things are working, but like some of the little like stream features are not working the way they're supposed to. So I need to spend some time with that. But yes, thanks for the follow. I hope the little T-Rex did his dance. I like those little alerts. I think they're cute. I just don't. I thought they would be like bouncy enough that I would see them from over here, like out of the corner of my eye, and I don't typically, unless I just happen to be looking that direction. So I'm going to work on that, making it easier to spot in the future. Check these other planets. I think we already like got all of the rewards we could possibly get from the planet scanning, but I'm a completionist. Andrew and I were talking about this recently with like Dragon Age Inquisition because I've played it a few times, and he only like recently just finished playing it because every time he's tried he's like he gets bored with it because he thinks it's too long, and that is a long game to play like to more or less 100% completion. It's like 100+ hours, and I've played it multiple times, and I've played it like both ways or two ways rather. I've played it where I want to get like everything done, I want to do like tick all the boxes, and then I've played it what I call in my head like my narrative version, where I might put it on easier difficulty and I don't do like all the extra stuff, I just kind of do the main story stuff. So I understand, like I've approached it from both viewpoints. The thing about that game is like I think you really have to enjoy kind of the world building and the lore of like the Dragon Age universe to be invested enough to do everything there is to do in that game, which I like it. I like how political the Dragon Age games are, in addition to being like high fantasy. So I don't mind kind of deep diving into it, but I can see how that could be like a big barrier to enjoying the game. I think sometimes that really good video games work on both ends. Like they can be enjoyed from like a more in-depth perspective, and they can also be enjoyed more casually. That way, like it's not like so just like surface level and casual that some people who want something a bit more get bored easily and don't want to play it or replay it. But also it doesn't throw up this barrier between like people who are new to the story or new to the franchise or new to the ideas wanting to just like play a game and have fun and not like be super cerebral about it, you know, and have a more casual experience. I think it's a really good thing, when a really good quality to have when a game can kind of do both, when you can kind of approach it from whatever angle you want. And I feel like the first Dragon Age game, Dragon Age Origins, kind of does that. But also I think like it's quite dense. That universe is quite dense. So maybe Mass Effect is a better example, because I feel like with Mass Effect, you can just shoot things, you know, and just kind of ignore the story. Why would you? But you could play it that way. You know, but you also, like, there's a lot of lore there if you want it. Like all the codices and stuff, like all the little notes and things you pick up along the way. You can read every single one of them, or you can ignore them. So there's a little bit, like, you have a few more options, I guess. I kind of like, I really separate out like the games that I like to play just like casually for fun that I don't want to get super invested in. Or no, you know what? That's not true. Any game I play, any story I experience, if it's a movie, TV show, book, whatever, I started out wanting to get super invested. I will have the best experience if I'm super invested in either the plot and the story or the characters. Usually characters. Like, I have found that, like, a mediocre plot or a plot with holes or whatever, for me, can be, like, overshadowed or compensated for with really good characters and character development. I find that if I'm only interested in the plot or the story, you know, finding out what happens and the characters suck or I don't care about any of them or I'm not rooting for any of them, I'll finish it, but I'm not likely to come back because, like, I already know the ending. I already know what happens, like, with the story, with the plot. I'm likely to keep, much more likely to keep coming back if the characters are good. If I just really enjoy those characters and enjoy, you know, spending time with them, as it were, like in the game or in the story, whatever it is. I don't know. Let me know if you have an opinion. Are you a plot person or are you a character person? Or are you both? Like, do you absolutely need both to be, like, on point to enjoy a fictional story? Let me know what your preference is. So, let's see. For Liara, I think more lift. Because I don't have that. And I've found it useful using cadence in the last mission. For Tali, I gave her 1 point in first aid and 1 point in dampening. I think I'm going to split it between those two for a bit. Well, for a bit. We only have, what, 3 more level ups? How many level ups are there? Do we get a level 30 in this game? I can't remember. And I'm already leveled up. So now let me look at their equipment. Make sure everything's good. It was good. Had it fixed. And it's stupid game. Not stupid game. Don't want to jinx it. I want it to get mad at me. But I had to go and mess everything up. To mark these all as red just to get it to stop blinking at me. Let's see, we have anomaly, civilian structures, science facility. Let's do the anomaly first. You get some more characters than plot. We think in good games they're very similar. Yeah, I agree. I feel like good characters cushion the plot. The plot, like, let me think of a good example. Whenever I need a good example for these things, like when I'm speaking about it on stream, I can never think of one fast enough. I can give like a good example of how it doesn't work. So, this might be controversial, so I'm sorry if it is. But Game of Thrones, I enjoyed reading the books. Because I found the world building really interesting. In the books, I had certain characters that I really enjoyed. Tried different routes to get over these mountains. Certain characters that I really enjoyed reading. That's one of the things I like about novels told from multiple perspectives, is because you get excited about like certain chapters and certain perspectives when they come up. The downside is that if there are certain characters you just hate reading, you get frustrated like every time their chapters come up and you're like, oh, I really just want to skip these. I don't want to read it. Don't want to hear from this person again. But in the books, I really enjoyed most of the characters and the world building, but the plot gets a bit convoluted, you know? And like in the TV show, I feel like some of my favorite characters weren't portrayed the way I felt like I read them. or I just didn't like the portrayal, or my favorite characters like didn't get the same amount of time and attention, whatever. And so I didn't enjoy the characters in the show version so much, and I stuck with it hoping things would come out well with the plot, that the ending of the story would be satisfying and make it all worth it. We all know that didn't happen. I hate the ending so much. I feel like production on that show never should have started before Martin had finished the novels. But, like, I'll never rewatch it because I don't, and I rewatch things all the time. I'm a chronic rewatcher. My favorite shows and movies and things, I rewatch them all the time. But, like, I'll never rewatch it because, like, I already know it's heading towards a really crappy ending, and, like, I didn't enjoy the way the characters were used, most of them. I mean, there were a few, I think, that were really good in this show, but, like, it just wasn't the same. And, yeah, like, I'll read, if he ever gets off his ass and finishes the books, I will absolutely read them. But the ending will have to be quite different for me to feel like they're books I'm going to want to reread. Actually, I've only read them once, like all the ones that are published, I've only read them once.
To this colony? I've got a bad feeling. Goddess have mercy. The entire colony must have been transformed.
Oh, it survived. I mean, I'm kind of impressed, but also annoyed. There we go. Yeah, the character should drive the plot, not vice versa. Yeah, I feel like you can get away with a lot in terms of, like, derivative plot, if you bring something new in terms of the characters and how you use them and how they respond to, like, the things that happen. But like, if the characters suck, then, like, what's the point? Especially if the plot is like, you figured it out, you know how it's going to end, there's no surprises. There's no point anymore. And when I say, like, good characters, they don't have to be, like, good people. It can be characters you love and characters you love and hate. You have to they have to have an interesting arc and enjoy reading. You have to enjoy reading them, watching them, whatever. Quiet quickly because I have a bad habit of talking too much when I'm trying to fight hunters, so then they sneak up on me and win. We're doing all right. So the best characters are neither fully bad nor good. Yes, I love a good anti-hero. Yeah, I totally agree. Which I think is one of the things that's great about this game is Shepard can be full-on, like, good guy hero, or can be kind of a vigilante anti-hero, depending on how you play it. But even if you play Shepard as, like, 100% Paragon, good guy hero, yeah, morally, I agree. I knew what you meant. Even if you do play, like, 100% Paragon Shepard, they still are quite interesting. I feel like the 100% Paragon heroes, I think it's somebody like Superman. Now, I need to throw a disclaimer on here. I am not, like, I am not a Marvel person. I don't watch the Marvel movies. I have no idea what's going on over there. I just know about things like, or is no, Superman's DC. See, this should show you how little I actually know about, like, comic books. I don't do superhero comic book things. I'm sorry. Like, not because I don't think poorly of it or whatever. It just doesn't interest me, and it's not something I've done. But, like, I think of Superman, and I'm probably wrong. Someone's probably going to be ready to tell me how Superman is much more complicated than this, but I'm just using him as a for instance, so please don't come for me. But, like, the characters that are like just good and just moral and just like 100% lawful good at all times can be quite two-dimensional and boring. And I feel like if you play Shepard as a there's another locked crate somewhere. Where was it? If you play them as that kind of character, as like the Paragon, like all the Paragon options, no renegade options, lawful good, they are still kind of an interesting character. Like they still have some depth and dimension. You know, they don't become just like the good guy and that's it. So I like that about the series. There it is. Always gotta get the stuff. I think I got everything else. Now, I'm not trying to rag on comics, DC, or Marvel, or whatever, but and I know that a lot of those comic series, like, there's a lot of characters that are not, like, completely one thing or the other, completely good or completely bad morally. I just was using that as a for instance, because I know very little about Superman, but I always think of him as, like, just being the good guy, you know? Oh, we never made it to... Oh, I got distracted. Never made it all the way to our objective, to the anomaly. So let's go get this... No, this makes more sense now. Let me make a little triangle and hit all of these structures. Out here? No, not outside this one. Oh no, the grass is growing up through the floor. I feel like that just is something that happens so much where the textures just don't like layer correctly and there's like the plants are sticking through the walls or through the floor or whatever. That's the wall or a shelf. Let's get those back.
Shell deployed. He sailed a little bit. Oh, he fell. He died. I kind of enjoy making them sail across the room with high explosive rounds.
Negative contacts, Commander.
It's the simple things. No, can't go into that room. The room that exists in like all other iterations of this structure, but not in this one. Any of those biotic amps are any better than what Liara has. Nope. Ragdolling will always be entertaining. Yes, I take way too much pleasure in like taking them out with the Mako's cannon, with the missiles, not the like the little pew pew gun, and like the high explosive rounds or the sledgehammer rounds, knocking them over. They're effective, so like I feel like it's a good strategy, but also just, you know, basic enjoyment. It's fun too. I guess my first like preference in terms of like a very combat based game or a shoot 'em up game, which wasn't actually a shoot 'em up at all. When I guess Halo was my first person shooter. You know, this is not a first person shooter, this is a third person cover shooter, at least as I understand it. But Halo 3 was my first like first person shooter game. Andrew introduced it to me, or me to it rather. I had played a little bit of Halo 2 like in high school, like at friends' houses and things. We would like team up and play like the Slayer mode. That's where you like hunt each other down, right? And I found that like I didn't really care what weapons were on offer. I wanted that gravity hammer because I got way too much satisfaction out of sneaking up on people and whacking them with the gravity hammer. And so like in the game, like in this like the campaign story mode, if there was a gravity hammer to be had, then that's what I was carrying. My personal preference is that Halo 3 is Halo 3. It's my favorite to play of the children, probably because I played it first and I feel like I know it the best. But I do enjoy the story, and to have not watched the TV show, had reservations when I first heard about it, and it seems like it's one that there's nothing wrong with skipping. The first one's fun. It's hard. Playing the first one is hard. The first Halo, I've only played it a couple times. I've played 2 through a few times, and then I've played 3 multiple times. I've tried to play 4, and I don't like it. 3 was supposed to be the ending, so I haven't gone beyond that. But you should play 3 if you haven't. I think it's a lot of fun. And it's a fairly old game now, right? Like, wasn't Halo 3 2008 or 2009, something like that? Let's back it up just a little bit. What actually did happen? There must have been one around the corner. 2007, okay, I was close-ish. That's really very old. How far is this gonna send me back? Please let it not be too far. How far back are we? No! No! Why? I hate it. In this Legendary Edition, every time I tell it, like, it asks you at the beginning, like, would you like auto saves? And I'm like, yes, please. I would like all the auto saves, please, because I always forget to save. When is it auto saving? I don't think it's actually happening. In my mind, maybe I've been playing too much Skyrim, but in my mind, things should like auto save, like when you enter a building, when you enter a structure or leave it. Those are auto save moments. That's when it should happen. Yeah, the music in the Halo series, well, I feel like the main theme for Halo is good. I'm forgetting like what the rest of the music in the series sounds like because I haven't played it in so long. The main theme is good, but I feel like at the moment I can't vouch for like the soundtrack as a whole. So I'll have to listen to it and get back to you off the way in later. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Poor City. See, that makes me like pause because if all I remember is the main theme. Now, it's been a while since I played those games, but if all I can remember is the main theme, that doesn't bode well for like how great of a job the composer does of like orchestrating and developing that theme throughout the the series, because like in this game series, I've been playing Halo longer, really. I discovered Halo before Mass Effect. But I haven't played Halo as frequently or recently as Mass Effect. Well, you know what? Actually, I don't know. I don't have a count on either game. So it's possible I've played them like the same number of times, but Halo was longer ago. But I can't recall any other moments in the soundtrack that I'm like, this is particularly good work. I enjoy this. Whereas in Mass Effect, I can think of like specific scenes and moments where the composers did such an excellent job, like bringing themes back. And it's a composer, so it's mostly like one guy, but there are other composers involved. And most of it's composed by Sam Kulik. I'm saying his name properly, I hope so. But there are a few other names like listed, like credited for the Mass Effect soundtrack. Mass Effect soundtracks rather. But like I can think of these I can think of moments like where they just do something so interesting or so creative with a past theme, and they bring it back in a really creative way. Or
What happened to this colony?
you know what I mean? Like, so, but I can't think of anything of that in terms of Halo.
The entire
Like,
colony must have been
I definitely can think of other
transformed.
soundtracks where like there's a certain theme that I find to be really good, but that's it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the whole soundtrack is good. It's that they compose something for the soundtrack that happens to be really good. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. A good soundtrack for a game. No, actually, you know, I disagree. A good soundtrack should draw attention to itself in a positive way. Used correctly in a show, a movie, video game, whatever. A soundtrack should be like a really well-written character. It should take the focus when it's meant to. It should not pull focus when it's not meant to. And it should work with the other characters and the setting and all these things in a creative and productive way. And like if I notice a soundtrack too little, I think that's a problem. If I notice the soundtrack too much or too frequently, I think that's a problem. You know, it's all about it's the right. It has a sweet spot, I guess. Like it's the right amount of all the things at the right time. So like in a video game, if I'm not noticing the soundtrack, then I'm thinking it's probably too boring or too repetitive, and I'm just tuning it out. If I'm noticing it like in a negative way, obviously that's not good. But I want to like have those moments of, oh wow, this is a really nice musical moment, like regardless of what's happening, whether I'm in a cutscene or like some games I feel like they'll have good music in the cutscenes, and then like the combat music is just kind of boring and repetitive, and I find that disappointing. It's also disappointing if like there's a cutscene and the music's underwhelming or doesn't suit it. And also, I think in video games, something that is just as important as like the score, the composition itself, is like the editing slash like I don't know what to call it except for like musical mapping, like when like what triggers the changes in tone. For example, like what changing from combat music to like peaceful music or whatever. I feel like Fallout 4, it's not very good. Like, you'll be like just talking to someone and the battle music from earlier just shows up for no good reason and keeps going. Or you'll start a fight. This happens in Skyrim too. You'll start fighting something and there's no combat music. It's like peaceful music and you're like, yeah, this doesn't quite go, but okay. So I feel like that is also, that could make or break a good soundtrack even, like how it's used. I kill this husk and try and read chat at the same time. How do I categorize the music now? So like this first game is not like the best in terms of soundtrack, in my opinion. It introduces a lot of this game I kind of take with a pinch of salt because it's older, it's made on a smaller budget, etc. But I appreciate it and like it for how it introduces all these themes that come back and are reused in the second and third games. I feel like, and they're developed, and there are even themes in this game that get developed. Like the kind of main theme, the theme you hear in the very beginning, when not the Vigil theme, but like in the very beginning when you see Shepard walk down the Normandy and you get like your close up of your character you've designed for the first time. Like that, you hear that as like jazzy elevator music, which I find hilarious. I know that theme comes back throughout the third game. Especially in the end, like the very end of the game, in a really interesting and poignant way. So like, I think when you're playing this game, there's some interesting things like going on with like the sound mixing and all, with the is there stuff in here? Yes, I got it. There were grenades in there. Okay, now get down off the box. I recently listened to all of the soundtrack for this first and second game for the first time, like just listen to the music. And if somehow I'd gotten it in my head that I wouldn't enjoy just listening to the soundtrack for the first game, because I thought of it as being just kind of like very minimalist and kind of like low profile, except for like some moments. And I actually enjoyed listening to it quite a lot. So I think maybe it wasn't always used in the best way in this game, but I think that's something they definitely improved on as the series went on. So like, I don't discount it. I really like, I think sticking with the same composer through all three games was probably one of the best calls they've made. Now they did use, like, there are other composers who contributed, like I've mentioned a few times, like the third game has a few of like the more popular tracks are actually composed by Clint Mansell, who, I think I say his name correctly, I really don't know. One of those names I've always read and never heard. But he did Requiem for a Dream and Black Swan and several other very well-known movies. His compositions that he wrote for Mass Effect 3, they still use themes that were introduced like in the very first game, you know? So he like kind of contributed using what was already there. It's not like he did something super revolutionary and totally different from the rest of the soundtrack. So like this game, to answer your question, I think it's very, very important in providing like the basic framework for the other two games to build on in terms of soundtrack. It's a good step one. I don't know if that counts as like a me and the words today. I don't know if that counts as categorizing it correctly, since my brain is glitching on that word today. Where am I? I'm over here still. Let me still go to this anomaly. Have I saved? No, let's save. Thank you. Let's still go get that anomaly while we're on this end of the map. So I would categorize it then as step one, and a good step one. If this is where the soundtrack had ended up, like if this was like it, we were just kind of given this same thing in 2 and 3, then no, I wouldn't be satisfied. But as far as like comparing this to what we get in 2, like for example, in the, no spoilers for anyone who's watching as their first experience with the series, like that opening, not the opening cutscene, but like there's a thing that happens at the very beginning of the game, and then you get this like cutscene, like montagey thing to connect you to what's happening next. That is as vague as I can make it probably, but anyway, there's this kind of, and you hear that main theme, that theme from the beginning of this game when Shepard walks forward through the Normandy and you get your first like close-up of your character, of the character you'll be spending time with for the next 3 games. That theme comes back but in a minor key, and it's really interesting and kind of like it sets a very different tone, but at the same time the use of that theme is like, yes, this is a Mass Effect game, this is not like something random and different and new. Well, not randomly different, but intentionally different. And I really appreciate and enjoy that. But yeah, so I mean, when I first started playing this here on stream, I said if you listen carefully, if you pay attention, you'll hear all these little bits and pieces that just keep coming back in really interesting and intentional ways, and I appreciate that. Now, I'm not saying like no other video game series does that. I'm not saying that like it's particularly unique or the best. I just appreciate it and enjoy it, and it's one of the reasons why this series is one of my favorite, or my favorite game series. And why it's soundtracked. The third one in particular is one of my favorite soundtracks. It's like, it just seems to me like it's often, not so much in this first game. Like I told you, like the first game definitely left room for improvement, but I just want to get over this rock. Can I please get over this rock? Let's see. I'm like literally right behind it. I just want to go get that stupid anomaly. Is there no path over? I refuse to like go all the way around. At least the Mako's not stuck. If I could just get up.
You need to turn back, Commander. You're going beyond the range of the operational area.
I'm a trailblazer. Let me go where I want to go. How do I even get back to like where I was before? Did I just get myself stuck in this little valley with nowhere to go? At least the one thing I learned from the Stuck Mako incident is that when in doubt, just go back to the Normandy and then drop right back down. But it's kind of a pain. Mako, really? Like your whole brand is supposed to be that you just can kind of like float your way up mountainsides. Now. Let me look at the map again. So we did the escape pod and we went to the civilian structure. We just need to get the anomaly and then the other two structures. Oh, none of those were good jumps or flips. It's disappointing. Wait, I'm skeptical. I feel like I'm going to end up exactly where I was before if I go up this way. I guess I'm doing it anyway. It's not like I have much choice. No, I changed my mind. I don't want to fuss with it. I'm going to just go find the rest of these structures. I need to go to this one. Maybe if I go deal with these other civilian structures, put myself in a better position to go collect or scan or whatever that anomaly. And I will also save once I get inside the structure. There we go. Now if I die again, at least I don't have to do everything over. Let's spread out a little bit. No, we are that way. Over, okay, over there. Go get him. things in all the wrong order there, but I guess it worked. Liara, I just healed you. How did I shoot him and him fly towards me? Everybody. Did I find any interesting drinks in Japan, such as crazy LaCroix flavors? We didn't try that many like crazy drinks. Like I forget what they're called. I realized when we got home we never had any of those like fun sodas with like the little ball in the top, you know, where you like press it and it like sinks down. I remember you can find those here like at World Market and stuff like that. I guess the only thing I can really think of that I had was melon flavored Fanta. It was good. It was very sweet. I kept thinking when I was drinking it, it tasted like something. Oh yeah, Andrew had well, that's not really a weird drink. 1 cup sake is like this brand of sake you can get in the grocery store and the convenience store. It's just like one little like serving sealed in this little glass cup, and it's supposed to be like the cheap / like gross sake, but I didn't like regular like good sake, so I probably really wouldn't have liked that. But no, I mean, I had, in terms of drinks, like I tried Andrew's sake, didn't like it. I really liked the shoju lemon sours, and I don't know, I mean, we drink a lot of tea, a lot of green tea, a lot of matcha and such. I love tea, so it was all about having the different teas on offer. But I can't remember anything else like crazy or different. The melon Fanta was interesting. Grape juice is really popular. It's like in all the vending machines, like just Welch's grape juice. And let's see, I had like a strawberry milk that was good. I got it in one of the vending machines, and then like all the peach drinks were really good. I had one that was like peach flavored water, but it was like still water, not sparkling. And I had one that was like a peach soda. I can't remember what the brand was. One of the vending machines had a really tasty, like, because the vending machines will have like warm and cold drinks, or hot and cold drinks. Hot being relative, they're not like hot. I'm kind of a wimp, and they're like cool enough that I could drink them like straight away. That was one that was a really good like matcha latte, and I had one of like the hot like lattes. That one wasn't from a vending machine. The convenience stores will have like an area for like grab and go heated drinks as well as cold drinks. And I got that there, and it was really tasty. It wasn't too sweet, but was sweetened. I don't like my coffee without some sort of sweetener in it typically. I heard you could get anything in a vending machine in Japan. Yeah, we didn't see many crazy ones though, mostly just like the drinks ones. And like they're kind of cool. It's kind of cool that like Japan is so safe that they can just put and leave those anywhere. They don't have to worry about someone like breaking into them and robbing, you know, like stealing from the vending machines. Like it's common to see them just kind of like in the middle of nowhere, and someone just goes, I guess, and refills them periodically. There were several like iced teas in them too. They're like fruit teas and stuff. Those were really tasty. I don't think we got anything from the vending machines where I was like, this is disgusting. A lot of like iced green tea, like unsweetened iced green tea, that was really good. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot. We tried several things. We did a pretty good job of trying multiple things. Didn't try like, I typically saw the vending machines and the hot drinks. They'd have like, wasn't really a drink, but they'd have like this, like a corn soup or something, like a drinkable soup. Didn't try that, but I was curious about it. I was like, what is vending machine? Sorry, stumbling on my words again. What does vending machine soup taste like? But I was never motivated enough to actually try it. And then like, oh, that's the one thing I forgot to include in Monday's stream, were the things I got from the gashapon machines. So I'll have to show you all those things on Friday. Those are kind of like vending machines, I guess. But we didn't see anything like particularly unusual. We made a special trip out to Shibuya to go to that department store that had the whipped cream vending machine. the whipped cream cans. It's like whipped cream and a bit of like sponge cake. It's like a little dessert, but they're ridiculously expensive. Like 780 yen for one of them, but it was good. I just wanted to try it because I'd seen it online. I thought it was interesting. They were tasty. They're just a bunch of whipped cream and a little bit of cake. I know there are more. So let's kind of... Let's say let's sneak around the corner and kind of draw them out, but beat me to it.
All targets down.
For real, or are you saying that and then one's gonna slip out of hiding and come get us? Because that happens sometimes. Okay, maybe for real. I know that there is a vending machine on the top of Mount Fuji. I saw that in a YouTube video, though it's like much more expensive. Everything's quite overpriced, but I thought that was kind of funny. Oh, so this was Cerberus again. Cerberus is busy doing all kinds of shady things in this first game. So I mentioned Don Quixote on Reddit this morning. Never heard of it until Monday. Yeah, it's yeah, Don Quixote is like a whole thing there. They call it like Donkey for short, but it's a crazy store. They have everything, like basically everything. I mean, not like groceries, but just like like cleaning supplies, luggage, electronics, cosmetics, clothes, toys, like basically everything. And it's chaotic. I mean, my experience might be a bit skewed because we only went to 2, and they were the mega one in Shibuya and then another big one in Shinjuku. No, sorry, in Akihabara. And both of those were bigger ones, like with multiple floors. But so there might be smaller ones with like a more like curated selection of things, but it was a lot to take in, but we found some fun things there. And their prices are pretty good. Everything's supposed to be at a bit of a discount from like all like the Pokemon merch, for example, was marked that it would show you like the price, like their price, and then it would say like this is the price like that it's supposed to have been marked down from, which I assume to be like the quote-unquote official price. Now let's see if we can find our way to this anomaly. I will save again, just in case. They did have what I had heard ahead of time, or read in probably one of the books I read, or the book I read rather, was that like they have the best selection of like fun flavored Kit Kats outside of one of the Kit Kat stores. And since we never made it to one of the Kit Kat stores, I can't say that that's true or not, but they did have quite a few different flavors to choose from. So if you're a tourist over there and you want to get some of the fun Kit Kat flavors, but you don't want to make a special trip to one of the Kit Kat like specialty stores, then that's a good place to go. Watch me get stuck again though, trying to get to this Oh, this is exactly what I did before. I got into this little hole and couldn't go anywhere except back. So I gotta find a way to get over this stupid little mountain range. Come on, Mako. Please don't make my life difficult. I just want to go check out this anomaly. Oh, come on. You can make that. Please. Don't make me have to go all the way around or go somewhere else. It's not that far. Maybe this will do it. Mako. Mako. Come on. Did this do it? Maybe? Oh, we flipped a little bit. It wasn't very graceful, but we kind of did it wasn't a flip so much as like a barrel roll. But, was there just a side quest here or just explore? No, there was that, we were investigating these civilian structures, and what Cerberus was doing there, because, was it Exogeny had some like weird samples they were studying that Cerberus had sent them, and so we were checking that out. Not a major story thing, just a side mission related to general Cerberus shadiness. No, I need to be up there. I need to be on the other side of this mountain hill rocky structure. No, go, up. Keep going. You have 6 wheels, use them. This is very disappointing, Mako. I go into this playthrough saying, yes, I love the Mako. The Mako gets a bad rap. The Mako is actually kind of fun. Especially compared to the Hammerhead, which is like flying tissue paper around. And then it goes and does this. It just refuses to cooperate. And now we're in a hole. You know what? I officially don't care about that anomaly that we're so close to but can't visit. I think I'm gonna give up on it. We're just... I did eat off a bit too early. Come on, Mickey. Just go up. Just up and over. That's all I'm asking. I'm gonna try one more time, and if it doesn't work, then I'm just going to forget about that anomaly. I know it's nothing important. It's just like one of the... We've already completed all of like the matriarch's writings and all that jazz. So it's just something like that. Really? It's just something like a collectible thing like that. And we don't actually need it because already done all of that, I think. Yeah, it's all done. So I quit. I'm not gonna waste any more time because I've been playing for over an hour on this stream. I had 3 side missions to wrap up, and we've already devoted an hour to just that one. It's not practical, so we're just gonna leave it. I'm mad about it. The completionist in me is very mad about it. Wait, I didn't look at the book or the journal to make sure I knew where I was going. So I want to investigate this. Yes, that's also in the Moon Sea cluster. Hang on, didn't. Vostok system. Cluster is the bigger, system is the smaller. Yeah, no, I already did ruin 100% run with that stupid, that C-Sec security. It wasn't his fault, it was entirely my fault for not going back to talk to him after I talked to the Hanar. Someone should have yelled at me and said, hey, tell the C-Sec guy that is standing 5 feet away and clearly saw this happen, that it happened. Otherwise, you don't get the check mark. And I don't get the check mark. I mean, it's my own fault.
Looks like
So
we've got an
bad at
active
it.
distress beacon on the planet below, Commander. No message, just a locator signal.
I'm gonna finish scanning first. Okay, moving on. Let's take... haven't taken Rex in a minute, so we'll take him. And I just took him, but I'll take Caden, because we need some tech strength, too. Another grassy, pretty planet. Let's look. Let's do top to bottom. Anomaly first. Oh, we got points. Rex, I'll give you throw. I think, yeah, we're fine. I know there's a red dot behind me, but I'm going this way. Now, if I find myself in a situation where I can't do my last level up because I'm missing just like 100 experience points because I didn't find that anomaly, which is probably like something I needed to decrypt or electronics or whatever, then I will go find it so that I can get that last bit of experience and finish my level up. I think there are 30 levels and we're only 27. So we'll see. How is it that I always manage to choose, like, the least, like, the path that makes the least amount of sense to each of these locations? Like, there is probably, like, a straight shot, and every time I'm like, no, I'm gonna zigzag through the mountains. I'm gonna get, oh, I need to mark the next spot on the map. Let's do a save. Save 106. I don't know if that's like growth or not. I feel like maybe the first time I played Insanity, when I played it on like the original version of the game, I saved even more. Because I just was very mindful of the fact that I was playing it on Insanity difficulty for the first time and didn't want to like have to repeat the easy stuff over and over. So I don't know if that's I don't think it's a personal best for number of saves at this point. I guess it's respectable. I'll go around the big chunky mountain instead of trying to go over it. Like a good driver. Oh, just a note about yesterday's stream. So when Streamlabs was messing up, I don't know if it was my fault or its fault when I was scrambling to make it cooperate almost a full flip. Streamlabs did not record it for me, so I had to download the stream from Twitch, which means it's not going to be as good of quality as the other ones on YouTube. So I apologize for that for those of you who like to catch up and watch them on YouTube. But at least I have it. These little guys are funny. Why can't I talk to you? I would like to talk to you. Antelope deer thing with weird... Are those vestigial arms, or do you actually use those? T-Rex deer? Deer-A-Saurus Rex? It seems to, like, not care that we're here, but also won't talk to us. So. It also won't attack, so I guess that's a good thing. I would probably attack if weird aliens were just getting up in my face while I was trying to find my breakfast. Well, let's do a quick gear check for Rex. Because the work I did earlier was undone. Oh, that one's even better. Let's give him more shields. There we go. That's good. And now, this, whatever that is, science facility. I'm gonna zigzag my way up the mountain and hope it works. Mako. I think sometimes the trick is you have to, like, accelerate somewhere else before you start zigzagging your way up the mountain. Like, you need that extra momentum to actually make it up the path. Now, I'm gonna have to take the long way, aren't I? Disappointed. There'll be a little path I can take to the right. Will that do it? Or do I need to get up higher first? Let's go up higher. Probably need to be on the other side of these mountains. Oh, not quite. Wait, no, I'm still not in the right spot. Can I go around these mountains? Nope. You know what? Because I'm already taking forever, I'm going to go up to Normandy and drop back down because I'm already behind schedule, and I know that when it dropped us before, we were in the right spot. I really should have done the science facility first, but I didn't. No, I had Caden, didn't I? There we go. So I'm cheating, just a little bit. I still love how the Normandy just flings you. Flings the poor Mako onto the planet. The shock absorption on the Mako must be insane, but not amazing because, like, in the second game, you don't get a Mako, and if you have the DLC, you get a Hammerhead, which... Wait, why are there... Okay, there are red dots back here, but it's not where we're meant to go, so let's go check that out. Like the hammer, you get to drive the Hammerhead. It's a very different experience, but like you don't get the Mako. And then by the third game, they're like, actually, Shepard, you don't get to drive at all. You're done. We're gonna hire somebody for that. don't think this is something we can enter or scan or whatever. No. Wait, there's more. Where though? I didn't mean to blow up the box, but oh well. Well, I'm glad I came back because there's stuff here. No, let me through. Thank you. I don't think I got anything particularly good. We'll have a quick look. Let's see. Hayden can use that. Oh, could use a pistol upgrade. I think Rex is fine. Right. Oh, there's a mineral to scan. I mean, we don't really need it, but I will do it anyway. If for no other reason than to try and compensate for the experience I lost by not investigating whatever that anomaly is. Uh-oh. 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 No, I made it. I thought I was gonna just fall off the side. Don't get stuck, Mako. You get one of those for this playthrough and you've already used it. Now I have to get to... What is it I'm trying to get to again? Science? No. Something. That's... Whatever it is. Whatever I put that marker on is what I'm trying to get to. Oh no, come on, Mako. Don't do this. Talking like it's the Mako's fault. In all honesty, it is my fault for not taking an actual path. But I feel like that's not been working out either. I feel like I keep trying to find like an actual path, and I still end up stuck or having to like scale a mountain.
You need to turn back, Commander. You're going beyond the range of the operational area.
Just temporarily. Just trying to get over here. And who decided this operational area anyway? I'm just expanding the term. Or I'm expanding the operational area. It's allowed. Last side mission for Virmire, more like Mako driving straight. Isn't that what side missions always are? Like when we're scanning and exploring the planet, it always ends up being rolling around in the Mako. I'm gonna just like save real fast in case going out of bounds too much means like an automatic death.
You went right off the scanners, Commander.
Oh.
Now we have to bring you back.
No, I just get chastised for it. Hadn't done that in a while. Where are you bringing me back to? Is this helpful? Are you putting me closer to my objective? Not really. Joker, if you're gonna like just move me without my permission, you could at least put me like close to where I'm meant to be. Like that would be helpful. That would be nice. That would be considerate. That would be productive. That would be being a productive member of this team. But just setting me right back where I started and making me have to just do the same damn thing over and over again is not helpful. Mako, did you forget to eat your Wheaties this morning? I need to be like over there. How do I get over there? I don't recall having this much difficulty on, I mean, I don't know that I know like every planet in this game, like inside and out, like the map and where all the locations are, like all the different objectives are and whatever. But I don't recall recently, on a recent playthrough of this game, having this level of difficulty trying to get anywhere. Oh, also I got new follows. Sorry, I missed it from Forthright Inmate. I'm sorry, I cannot read my font. It's too small. And Besser Relay. Anyway, thank you for the follows. I'm sorry I cannot read your username as well today. The part of my brain that like processes letters in language is not working at its best today. So I apologize for that. Thank you for following. I appreciate it. And I just totally ignored that metal that was, that scannable, surveyable metal that was back there because we have to get to whatever this is. We have to get to this objective. Is it? There it is. That one was trying to blend in. It's like if I stand real still, the Mako won't find me. Oh, that's gross. The Thorian thing growing on the wall. That's gross. I saw that one hanging like by its name. It was kind of funny. I was afraid if I spent too long reacting to it, oh, it's dead. Oh, throw it. Kaden, are you being helpful or are you shooting the ceiling? Really gross pinata. Where is it though? Stuck in the box? I guess it's stuck in the box. Did Caden kill it? Maybe I can kill it with a grenade.
Eat this!
No? Maybe we can just leave and come back and it'll have moved. Or I can leave them to keep working on it. Hi Barry, how are you today? You just got done with rehearsal. I hope it went well. Was this orchestra or wind ensemble? Or was it like for your scholarship competition? Maybe if we come back from emptying these lockers and things, then the Thorian creep will have dislodged itself and we can take care of it.
Rescuers? Oh, thank God. See? I told you somebody would come to investigate that signal. My name is Dr. Ross, Chief Exogeny Researcher at this facility. We've been trapped in this room for days. We're almost out of food and water. You got here just in time.
Not so fast. First, you're gonna tell me why this place is overrun with Thorian creepers.
How do you know about the Thorian?
I know what Exogeny was up to. I saw what they let the Thorian do to those colonists, so I destroyed it.
Our secret's out then. No point in my lying. You already know the worst. The creepers here were created using altered samples from the specimens on Pharos. We discovered a way to turn them into docile, obedient servants. Everything was going fine until a few days ago. Then all the creepers suddenly went berserk. Only a handful of us made it back into the safety of this room.
Why didn't you send a clear message asking for help? All we had was that signal from the emergency beacon.
This is a closed communications base. Exogeny was worried about someone on the project selling secrets to a rival firm or reporting our work to the authorities. We have no direct communication with the outside, only the emergency beacon. It sends a general distress signal to the Exogeny site on Pharos. They're supposed to send a team to respond inside of 24 hours, but it sounds like they had problems of their own.
Any chance some of the other people at the base might still be alive?
I doubt it. Too many creepers out there. They never stood a chance. We're the only ones left.
Any idea why they turned on you?
Maybe there was still some kind of link between the creepers and the Thorian back on Pharos. The Thorian was unlike any other life form we've ever studied. I can't explain how, but maybe when it died, it somehow set off the creepers here.
I've heard all I need to.
Look, I know what we did here was wrong. I'll admit that. But it's over now. There's no sense reporting this to the authorities, right?
You were in charge of this project. The safety of the staff was your responsibility. They trusted you, and you betrayed that trust.
Be reasonable. I didn't mean for this to happen. Besides, how does it help anyone if I end up in jail? Normally Exogeny would have my back, but it sounds like they're going to have their hands full cleaning up the mess on Pharos. But I've got money. A nice little emergency fund I set up. It's yours if you let us go.
The victims here deserve justice. I have to take you in.
That's not going to happen. Open fire. Open fire!
This lady's kind of dumb. Is there just a bunch of, like, scientists with a couple guards? Sad that it has to end that way, that's the Paragon option, have to kill everybody, but I guess she refused to come quietly, so it's not really my fault. Oh, so yeah, orchestra. I'm sorry your spore didn't go well in studio class, but like, whether or not it actually feels this way, I feel like studio class is supposed to be, like it feels this way in the moment rather. I feel like studio class is meant to be a chance to like test a piece out before like a bigger performance. So the mindset I always tried to have, whether or not I was successful is a different story, but the mindset I tried to have was that like, better to make the mistakes in studio class in that quote unquote safe environment, you know, before like the quote unquote real performance later, you know. So if it didn't go well, like I feel like bad performances, bad runs happen, and I'd rather my bad run happen in like a studio class situation than in like I don't know if we're gonna be able to do this like inside. Oh, I got it. Okay. I'd rather that happen in like a studio class situation than like on stage, like as part of recital, or like if it's a concerto situation, then like the actual performance with the orchestra. I don't know if I would call this like superstitious or not. Oh, thank you for the follow, Small Hang Up. I appreciate it. I don't know if I would call this like superstitious or not, but I feel like if my dress rehearsal is too good, we got everything, didn't we? Yeah. If my dress rehearsal is like too good, it makes me more nervous for the performance, because I feel like something's bound to go wrong at some point. You know what I mean? I didn't mean to do that. Whereas if I have kind of not a bad dress rehearsal, like, because I feel like a really bad dress rehearsal will also make me feel extra nervous. So not a bad dress rehearsal, but like a dress rehearsal where I make a few mistakes is better, because I'm like, okay, I made those mistakes. I've experienced that. Now I know what to do to like avoid that or to fix them in the future. And that's kind of like a reassuring thing. So let's go do the Lost module, and then I will wrap things up for today. And that is Hercules and Attican Beta. You think of choir as being singers, does it have another meaning? Clarinet choir is like big ass group of clarinet players. Like, it's not even like chamber music at that point. Usually like at a university, like it'll be everyone in the studio, or if you're at like a special clarinet event or symposium type situation, it'd be like everybody plays. So you'll have like multiple voices, like 4 or even 5 or 6 parts, but it's just a very homogeneous ensemble of all clarinet players. I hate playing clarinet choir. I've only done it twice ever, and I hated every minute of it. Like, it's one thing to do like clarinet quartet or whatever, but clarinet choir is not my favorite. How did orchestra go yesterday? That was actually Tuesday, and it went well. It was a good first rehearsal for me back. It was a good rehearsal. I had a good time. I hadn't played in the orchestra, you know, for a while, because I didn't get to play the last rotation because of my trip conflicting with one of the performances. But I didn't realize how much I missed playing in the orchestra, so it was good to be back. I think this will be a good concert. It'll be our last one for the year, for the season, because we take a break in the summer, and I think it's like 1st or 2nd week of May is when they happen. I can't remember. I need to look that up. We'll do that. We'll take Ashley and Tally. But I think it'll be a good performance. Ashley. Just salt training. You are a soldier, so that makes sense. And Tally is good. The map. Let's visit the probe first. I hope you're enjoying orchestra after school as well. I feel like as an underclassman, orchestra might be a bit stressful, at least where I went to do my undergrad. Oh, I got another follow. Thank you so much for dialectical snap. I'm trying my best to read today. I'm making a mental note that hopefully will turn into a physical note to see if I can increase the font size in Streamlabs so I can read these things more easily. But thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. When I was in undergrad, it was like getting to play in the orchestra as a freshman was exciting and
This is the
a good thing,
surveillance
like
drone.
flattering to be asked.
But where's the data module? Guess we're doing this the hard way.
But it also could be kind of stressful because with the orchestra being mostly upperclassmen in the winds and brass, I would often feel a lot of pressure to, you know, always play at my best to kind of like justify the fact that I was there. When really, I should have trusted the orchestra conductor, trusted the fact that they chose me and put me in the orchestra because they thought I could handle it, and just enjoyed the experience. You know, done my best, learned from my mistakes, and not catastrophized everything, which I had and sometimes still have a bad habit of doing. Wait, did I pass it? I did pass it. So if I remember correctly, what? I'm cheating a little bit for the sake of time. I think that's the colony that has the... Well, we want the colony with the mine. There's like an underground entrance, or an entrance to an underground mining facility, and that's the one that has the module. Yeah, so like, that's enough. Like, it's okay to just be like, I am really happy and glad to be put in the wind ensemble, to be put in the orchestra as a freshman. And I know it's hard. I know it's so hard, but try to like, just be proud of yourself and don't beat yourself up if you like, because at the end of the day, like the upperclassmen have more experience than you. So if they seem like they're doing better, like that's great for them. You know, you'll get there too. And don't put so much pressure on yourself to like, I don't know if you do this, but this is something I definitely did. But no one should like put too much pressure on themselves to like be perfect at everything, because first of all, no one is, and second of all, like people who seem like they're doing better at something, like maybe they are, but maybe they're not. You know, there's always a lot about a person's process that we don't see, another person's process that we don't see. And also, like, you just have no idea like where they're at. Like if it's a senior, not only do they just have already 3 more years experience, but they may have even more experience. But also the flip side is that is if someone is an upperclassman or ahead of you, technically a number of years experience or whatever, or an age, and you think that you're a better player than they are, like it's so easy to, and I've been guilty of this myself. It is so easy to like slip into this mindset of like I'm better than them and they're older and they should be better, so like how sad or how pathetic that they're not better. You again have no idea what the other person's like journey and process has been like, you know, especially if you're like a freshman in college and they're a senior in college and you feel like they're playing as, let's say, not where you want to be when you're a senior. You don't know that they could have rehabbed an injury. They could have had to take a long chunk of time off for some reason to deal with their physical health, their mental health, somebody else's health. Like maybe they had to take time off to look after somebody else. You know, you just never know. And I look back on like I was the victim of a lot of toxicity that was perpetuated at the school I was at, but I also contributed to it. I mean, I don't think I knew better at that point, but I want to like own the fact that I contributed to perpetuating some toxic mindsets and toxic viewpoints and comments, saying things about people that were just not helpful, using other people's shortcomings or perceived shortcomings as a player to make myself feel better. Like, I'm not proud of that, you know. Again, I don't feel like I was set. I wasn't given as many positive examples as I think I could have benefited from and would have liked to have had back then. Lucky I did have some positive examples set for me, but no. If I could go back and change like one thing about my undergrad experience, I wish I could give myself like the stronger sense of self to like to kind of not participate in those toxic lines of thinking and creating that toxic culture at that school. But that being said, going through that experience, you know, experiencing that and then deciding that's not what I want for myself and not who I want to be as a person or a musician is like has informed who I am now. So it's like a paradox, right? I couldn't go back and want to do differently if I hadn't had that experience in the first place. That took a little bit of a turn. I went on a little bit of an unplanned tangent, but I hope I said something that sounded at least a little bit helpful. Got there from just, I'm playing with the orchestra, and I missed it, and I'm glad to be back. And I think that the TLDR of all that was playing an orchestra now, playing in this orchestra now is very different than the vibe like when I was in school. Yeah, I know these monkeys don't have it. We're just going to run right past them. Speeding this up. Not going through the whole, like, organic, let's search them all. I'm taking advantage of the fact that I've played this so many times and just trying to save time.
He dropped the data module!
It's a miracle the data module is still
that was
intact.
unnecessarily
Joker
dramatic.
can transmit this info to Alliance Command.
Tali like full on squeed over the little monkey thing, the hijack. We don't know they're hijacks yet, but they're hijacks. Dropping the data module. I think that's all we have to do is just collect it. No? Wait, we did. We got it. Aren't we done? Because he dropped it, I picked it up. We're good. That's confusing that like journal entry doesn't quite update. People who are ranked above you are a grad student, 2 seniors, and a junior, and you're not a fan of their playing. Yeah, no, you've got like you're not at the like you've got room to grow. Even if you were ranked at the top. Oh, we got bad. Even if you were ranked at the very top as a freshman, you always have room to grow. You always have things that you can work on. That's the great thing about learning music, is that you never know it all. There's nobody who's got like 100% completion. You know, there's always something to learn from and improve and grow. And it's okay, I think, to say I'm not a fan of someone's playing because of like this aesthetic reason or this like preference, you know? Like we don't all have to like the same things, and that includes music and style of performing or playing music. But I'm a big, I guess, proponent of avoiding like gatekeeping anything to do with learning music, and saying like, I guess the simple way is like preferences don't equal like objectively better. But no, you're 100% valid in saying there's this person who plays a certain way and I'm not a fan. And I also recognize that it's so frustrating, like to feel like you're not a fan of somebody's playing and then be frustrated if they get ranked ahead of you. You know, I've experienced that. Felt like to my own preferences, my playing was better than someone else's and they were getting ranked above me. And the exercise I try to practice now when that happens is to say, well, like, it's fine that I have a different preference. And it's also fine that the panel or whoever ranked us or whatever has a different preference from me. What is it that they did that might have benefited them and could possibly benefit me if I worked on it in terms of my own playing and my own taste and my own goals? Like, what is it that they have that I might be able to take on board in my own way to make myself a better player? also, like, I've just learned that, like, life's too short to be mad at somebody for getting something you want, you know, because usually they were working for it and they wanted to get it too. So, like, even though it's hard, sometimes, like, just telling yourself, I'm going to be happy for this person and I'm going to move on, is just the healthiest thing to do for myself anyway. You know, like, I'm really bad about, like, ruminating over how mad I am that somebody else got some opportunity or something that I wanted, but, like, or did better than I did, or is doing better than I am. And it's just like that comparison game is just so unhealthy and so unhelpful. It doesn't mean I'm perfect at avoiding it or not doing that. Like, I'm certainly capable of falling into those traps and those patterns of thinking, but like it doesn't feel easier in the moment, but ultimately it is easier to just like say they got this thing. It's awesome for them. I want it too. But I'm capable of getting it for myself in my own way or whatever, and just like move on and move forward. But I fully admit that sometimes, like, it's so tempting just to get a bit self-indulgent and be all pissed off that I didn't get it, or upset that I didn't get the thing and somebody else got the thing or whatever. And in which case, like, maybe give yourself a day. Give yourself a day to like wallow and be mad that you didn't get the thing or whatever, and then say, I get 24 hours to be pissed off about it, to be mad about it, to be upset about it, and then I'm going to move on to the next. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but that's what I try to do anyway. Like, if I lose out on an audition, like something that I really wanted, maybe give myself like a day or the weekend to like grieve it, basically. Just be like upset that I didn't get it, and then it's time to just move on to the next thing. One of the benefits of keeping myself busy with the YouTube stuff and with teaching and with streaming is that like when that happens, I already have a next to be onto, you know what I mean? I have something else to work on, so I can like take that energy and channel it to something else, or just distract myself from the disappointment with it, you know what I mean? So that's been a positive thing. And it also kind of takes the stakes down a bit, because it's like, hey, I have these other cool things to focus on. I don't need to be upset about this, you know? Oh, I want to put that beak on my shotgun. There we go. And last is the anomaly. Uh-oh. I was about to say mistakes have been made, but no, I found a way out. We just like follow this little sort of path. Should be okay. Go get that metal that needs surveying, or element that needs surveying, and then we'll head over towards the anomaly. Well, no. Well, see, I'm conflicted. I want to get all the experience so we can level up all the way. I feel like I never manage to make it to like the last level. You know what I mean? I always run out of things to do before the last level up, and I'm always like just a bit shy of how much experience I need to like max out everything, and I really would like to accomplish that this time, like fully level up, but I also don't want to like get distracted or stuck, because all these little like bite-sized pieces of experience add up. Nope, I don't want to go. I want to go this way. out of curiosity, if you're still there, does your college, your university have a marching band? And if so, are you involved in it? I'm just curious because where I did my undergrad actually did not have a marching band because we did not have a football team. And while I did not choose the school for that reason, it was a big selling point when I was picking colleges, because by the end of my senior year of high school, really by the end of my junior year of high school, I was burnt out on marching band and did not want to continue in college. I guess follow-up question would be like, did you do marching band in high school? Or anybody else watching? Anybody
You need to turn
done?
back, Commander. You're going
I'm
beyond
tired
the
of
range
hearing
the
this from you,
operational
Joker.
area.
I'm just trying to get where I'm trying to go. Anybody watching participate in marching band? I feel like that's the one thing I haven't done on the main channel is like a conversation about like marching band experience, like a story time, chatty stream. And I know that there might be some of you who have never done marching band who might be curious about that. It's like a whole culture, like a whole thing. And I've got stories for sure. You did marching band, but it was part of normal band. Like a normal band class. Like for us, marching band was an all after school activity. Oh, we didn't want to miss this for sure, because this is where we take our amulet thing that Sha'ira gave us. Maybe I'll read this one because it's long, and it's kind of an interesting little tidbit, even though it's just like words. But this is what we're using, the little amulet thing, that trinket thing that Sha'ira the consort gave us as a reward for helping her. It says, examining the strange Prothean artifact reveals a small, irregular slot on the underside. Remembering the strange trinket you received from the Asari consort on the Citadel, you pull it out and place it into the slot. The ball explodes in a brilliant flash of white light, momentarily blinding and disorienting you. Slowly, your senses return as you wake from a deep sleep. You are alone in the forest, so you are not far from the caves you share with the others of your tribe. There's a pain and a small lump in the back of your skull, as if a chip of flint has been forced under the surface of the skin. Leaning on your bone-tipped spear for support, you rise to your feet. A sound draws your attention upwards, where a strange creature hovers high above you. It is unlike the birds you hunt by the lake's edge. It has no head and no wings, yet somehow it flies. It is a beast of shining silver, hanging motionless in the sky like a cloud. He is watching you, studying you. Raising a hairy fist, you shake a spear at it in anger, and the creature rises up quickly until it disappears from view. With a satisfied grunt, you make your way back to your caves and the rest of your tribe. You fall into the familiar patterns of life, the hunt for food, the struggle to claim and keep a mate, the battles against other tribes that would claim your territory. Days roll into nights and back into days. Each time you rise from sleep, there's the sensation that you are not alone, that some other is with you, sharing all you see, hear, and feel. At these times, your hand goes to the strange lump at the back of your skull, and you remember the silver creature in the sky. The air grows colder, winter falls, you must range farther for food, clutching the furs tight against you to ward off the chill. It is on one of these long hunts that the strange bird returns. You hear it before you see it. Its call a deafening roar as it descends from above, swooping down on you. A single great eye opens, on the underbelly a glowing red orb. You try to run, but a finger of red light extends from the eye and engulfs you, and all goes black again. No spoilers, but let's all just put a little pen in that description for later, shall we? Red orb, and then finger of red light. Let's just remember that for later, everyone. You wake an instant later to find yourself on Elatania, lying on your back, the Prothean artifact looming above you, undamaged, and your companion standing over you. They help you to your feet, puzzled. There was a flash of light and you just sort of toppled over, one explains. Are you okay, Shepard? The other asks. If you don't answer right away, wondering at the implications of what you have seen, the memories of a Cro-Magnon hunter captured by an implanted Prothean data recorder. How long did they study the primitive humans, observing them and analyzing the results at their base on Mars? And what, if anything, did they learn from us? I'm fine, you finally reply, realizing that it is a mystery you will probably never solve. Forget about it. So, I find this really interesting because there are like two implications. One, that you were studied by the Protheans, and two, that this great flying space bird thing, aka ship that you saw, kind of killed you with its angry red laser. And I feel like like two different things happen here. The Protheans placed a chip under not you, Shepard, but the individual that Shepard is experiencing their memories. Like the Protheans were studying them and put some sort of chip in their brain, but something else killed them. Maybe. Does it make sense that the Protheans would have killed the species they were studying? That's it. Which means I actually got everything done. Because I think that's it. Aside from Virmire. And that... I'm still mad about it. Need to go get supplies at the Citadel next stream. So maybe I'll pay one last visit to CSEC and see if it's possible to find that same CSEC officer and talk to him and kind of complete the quest finally well after the fact, but I kind of think I'm just stuck. I might look it up. Somebody remind me to look it up so that I can actually know whether or not that's possible. So I think for next Wednesday stream, not looking good as a known bug. If you don't talk to him, he disappears. Okay, well thank you. Then I won't even bother with it. I do want to go back to the Citadel to try and upgrade some more gear and sell some stuff. But I won't bother looking for that poor CSEC officer who's wandering around wondering what happened. Why did the Hanar just disappear? What happened to Shepard? You know, poor NPC didn't get a completion to their storyline. That is really annoying though, that you like can't end that. Like, yeah, there's some bugs and that's a part of playing video games. It is my own fault. It's my own fault for not going to that guy and completing the quest the way I was meant to. Anyway, I'll leave us here for today. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Thursday and rest of your week. But anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again soon.